Yeah, for sure, man. And Anthony Smith, to make a short story long, gets the rear naked choke. But however, this was not some display of jiu-jitsu. He was whooping Ryan Spann's ass, and Ryan Spann got the hell out of there and gave him his neck. That's how I interpreted this because before the submission, you see a submission, and Anthony Smith has really good jiu-jitsu, so you may think this was some kind of grappling match or something. No, Anthony Smith, every time there was a kickboxing match, every time Smith touched him, he wobbled him. I mean, he was hurting him every single fucking time. He wobbled him. So this fight only lasted 3 minutes and 47 seconds. And Spann was essentially wobbled 3 times that
I was gonna say 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It's between 3 or 4. I don't, the differentiation is, I think, within the beholder's eye. But
yeah,
like he was on skates for the last minute and a half.
And in my opinion, like I said, this wasn't some great display of jiu-jitsu. I think Spann got the fuck out of there, in my opinion. Maybe that's too big of a shot. Maybe I'm connecting dots. Maybe I'm reading body language. Maybe I'm assuming. It wasn't some display of jiu-jitsu. No, he flattened him out and landed some ground and pound. But I mean, this was just an ass whooping, an uncompetitive match. Anthony Smith proved, man, that he's right up there still, man. Like,
now
one of those
I thought
things against a lot of the top 5, he probably comes in as a betting underdog, but like not a big one in the 100s for sure.
I thought his call out to end the fight was incredibly interesting as well because, one, I thought great call out. Like, that's how you do a call out, right? Is like,
yes.
You assess who would be a good next step for you that's like logical, and you find a reason as to why that fight makes sense. So he calls out Alexander Rakic, and he says, this dude's not fighting anyone. He's literally sitting back and waiting for a title shot behind Teixeira and Yuri, and Teixeira is going to fight Blachowicz next. Like, that's already booked. That's happening. And Prohaska has nothing more to prove.
Yeah, he would jump him. The rankings, and that's why people say rankings don't mean shit, because Rakic could be 2 all he wants, and Prohaska would jump him for the title shot.
Prohaska's 2 right now. Rakic is 3.
Oh, he did.
So it's like,
him.
So it's like Prohaska gets the shot regardless. Like, I don't know what Rakic is waiting on. He's got to fight someone.
Since the last Smith fight, am I wrong?
That's correct. Like, he's literally sitting around waiting, and Thiago Santos is already booked. So and that's number 4.
That's coming up.
Yeah. It's Santos and
Johnny Walker as a main event, which I was a little shocked at. On a Fight Night main event. These next couple main events are weird. We got Rodriguez versus Dern. Hey,
we have some wicked fights coming up, to be quite honest. Well, the next one, next weekend is Volkanovski Ortega.
Yeah, no, the pay-per-views make up for it 100%. 100%. But yeah, Smith called out Rakic. Rakic accepted via Twitter. No, that's not a UFC contract, so we'll see what actually happens. And
he did immediately tweet back at him.
Immediately. And, probably makes sense from Rakic, right? Like, I already beat this guy. He's ranked below me. I mean, it's probably about as on paper and easy of a fight as he's getting at this point. I like Anthony Smith as much as the next guy. And I think Anthony Smith could definitely beat him in the rematch. But I'm just saying, like, it's either Blachowicz, Prohaska,
or Teixeira or Santos, but all those guys are booked minus Rakic. Or Prohaska, but Prohaska is not going to do that because he literally just didn't he beat Rakic in his last fight, Prohaska? I do believe.
No, because we just said Rakic fought since the Smith fight.
Correct. Who did? I'll find that real fast. But point being is, like, a Yuri doesn't need to do anything. Oh, Dominic Reyes.
Yeah.
And he looked incredible beating him with the spinning back elbow, the finish. Just looked so crisp. Like, that's the next dude up. Because we all knew Blachowicz Teixeira's up. And then I think as hardcores, maybe even casuals, because Prohaska's name's starting to get big with casuals. But we all know that dude's maybe the next champ.
Yeah.
Like, if he can dodge the right shots, he will be the champ. Because he's so aggressive and crazy with his style that he more so is putting the risk out there of, like, I'll dodge your best shot to land mine, which is a crazy thing to do at 205.
Light heavyweight division is largely a lot of guys past their prime at the top.
Absolutely.
He's one of the few guys in his prime in the top 10. You could say.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I would agree with that because he's
And you
already
could say
passed.
also Rockets is pretty decently young and in his prime, but he's camping his spot. Which when will fighters learn? When does that story end well? Ever? I mean, Ngannou was forced to sit out.
I'm trying to think of the last time it worked, where you just
Like
sat
Colby
and it
Covington's
worked.
tried it, and I guess it worked. If you consider getting a title shot working, but as far as going on to perform well in that fight after being out for a year, 2 years, see Conor McGregor, see Colby Covington's last fight, see Masvidal, see these guys that fight once a year, once every 18 months. It just, usually the odds favor the active fighter.
I think what really helped Covington get the rematch was that Usman's ran through almost everyone else right behind him or right around him. And Covington put on, and I hate to say it, probably the best fight Usman's had in a
Oh yeah.
championship defense. He brought the
Fantastic
best out
fight.
of Usman.
Amazing. That's one
So
of those
as
fights you got to rewatch too.
oh,
Like
for
we
sure.
watched it, we were so hyped up in the culture war and picking sides, and I was not biased at all. You just go back and watch the fight like months later with all that kind of heat off of it. It's
Still a
just a
fantastic
sporting
fight.
event. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, no, a lot of fun, man. But yeah, this episode was a lot of fun, man. Episode 61.